All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Darrell Keezer. I'm the CEO of Candybox Marketing. Today, we are going to be speaking about the Canadian Digital Adoption Plan, also known as CDAP. We're going to give you what you need to know. We're going to answer a lot of FAQs. We get a lot of calls about the CDAP plan and what it can cover, what it doesn't cover, and the process, how to get a $15,000 grant from the Canadian government to help grow your business. So, as I get going here, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Candybox Marketing because there's actually a lot of different CDAP vendors out there. Not two vendors are the same. So when you're looking at the Canadian Digital Adoption Plan, it's important for you to decide who to go with. So first off, it's a little intro. So at Candybox Marketing, we've been on the list of top growing companies for the last 4 years, as rated by Maclean's magazine and the Globe and Mail. Along with our growth, we are also, growing our customers. We've got 900 customers across Canada. These are just 4 customers I picked out that are also on the fastest growing companies in Canada. And everything that we do, everything that we talk about, everything that we're focused on is always about growth. Now, CDAP, really exciting for us because CDAP is about your business growing in a digital way, in a digital landscape. And we've been talking about this for over a decade. If you know me even personally, you're a friend, you're a colleague, you're a key account of ours, all I talk about is digital adoption, how to get better, how to get faster, how to onboard clients. That is our DNA through and through our entire organization. And when we are talking about your business, in terms of CDAP, this is a time not to just run into execution, but to build a digital plan. We are also top 4 companies in Canada for great places to work. So, sometimes when we talk about digital adoption and different tools and technologies, people can get a little bit afraid and saying, oh, are you just replacing people? And, how is this going to work with their existing team members? It's okay. I fully understand that. And just part of our organization is that we are a great place to work certified and 4th in Canada, which means that we love digital adoption to help, to equip, to support our team members. And so when we go into any organization, we're looking at how do we give you the tools to help grow your business with your existing team. Now, our agenda for today is very, very simple. We're going to go through 3 things. So first off, we're going to talk about what is and kind of what isn't CDAP. Number 2, how does it actually work? Like what does this project actually look like? And then number 3, how to apply and get the loan. That's kind of the easiest part of this entire 3. But first, we want to learn a bit about it. As is our fashion, at the end, we've got a special offering for you. All right, so in this special offering section, I can't tell you what it is now because it wouldn't make it a secret, wouldn't make it really that special. But there is something really, really awesome at the end. So for all those that are staying around for the entire webinar, we're with you. So what is CDAP? CDAP is nothing new. The Canadian Digital Adoption Plan, the whole purpose of it is to help companies become more efficient with digital tools to be more efficient with their business, get more customers, grow both nationally and internationally if you want to, and to become a better, faster company. This is nothing new. The only thing new is that the federal government is now giving you money to do it, which is incredible. For the last, I think 15 years, we've been helping people with digital adoption plans in different areas. And I understand that we're a marketing agency and we're not just talking about marketing here today. We're talking about like the overall technology that people are using to onboard customers and grow their business. But CDAP, like the whole purpose of it is something that is like it's built into the fabric of Candybox Marketing. It's in our DNA. Like you cut us, we bleed technology. We don't even own a printer, okay? We are absolutely obsessed with being a digital company. And during the pandemic, it was really interesting. We saw that companies that embraced a number of digital tools and resources and processes and stuff did really well. And those that depended on more traditional means really struggled. And so the Canadian government is saying, hey, we don't want companies to struggle, so we are providing money for people to use an existing service. So this is really exciting for us. Now, as I say this, I just want to be very careful if people are logging off and checking different emails. You cannot run your CDAP program with anybody. It has to be an approved vendor. There is a very strenuous process we have to go through to become a CDAP vendor, including a history of success, which Candybox Marketing has. So most of the presentation here today is borrowed from the Canadian government. Now, I'm allowed to do this, by the way. I'm not just copywriting. So you're going to see, right now we're on this wonderful pink slide representing our brandy colors and stuff. You're going to see a lot of other like designs and stuff in these slides, simply because there's a lot of misinformation about CDAP that I've personally seen online recently. And so what we're doing here is we're giving you exactly what the government is saying in the exact words that they're saying from their own presentations. So you can't just say, oh, I thought you said this. Like, we are giving you the exact information that your business needs to know to grow. So there are two options. When people talk about CDAP, there's actually two programs. Okay, program 1, program 2. So program 1 is Grow Your Business Online Grant. This is a $2,400 grant to purely e-commerce businesses. So if you've got like a Shopify store, you're selling things online, it's a $2,400 grant to help give you a better e-commerce plan. We are not talking about this one today. Okay, I'm very sorry. If you've signed up for this webinar for this $2,400 grant, pour yourself some coffee, or maybe a tea, console yourself and say that was a giant waste of the last 8.5 minutes of my life. The other one, Boost Your Technology Grant. We are talking all about this today. This is a $15,000 to help you boost your business using technologies and to help you become better, faster, leaner, meaner company in this current landscape. We are just talking about this $15,000 one. So at the end, you've got the ability to drop something into chat. If you ask stuff about the other grant, I don't want to confuse anybody today on the two different grants. So just know we've got our blinders on. We're just focused on this $15,000 grant from the government. So what is this grant? This grant is specifically focused on undertaking digital transformation in your business. It is a plan, okay, that you need to, that we are recommending that you take to go through transformation of your business. And every business is different. So we can help in the following areas, okay? And this may not be, you may not choose all these areas. It may not be exhaustive. We're going to determine it per client, but it can include things like, what is your digital strategy? What is your overall digital strategy? So we can take a look at your current tech stack and what you're doing. We can take a look at your marketing and your marketing automation and your customers and all those things. And we're going to build an overarching digital strategy. Number 2, we can take a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat of your business in relation to your digital adoption strategy. Number 3, we take a look at your web presence. So this isn't just web, but this is web, search, social, and all the things that surround that, and take a look at the strategy that your business has taken to growing online. Number 4, customer communication review. So this is how you speak to your customer and what methodologies you're using, what technologies are you using to talk to your customer, because we understand that over the last number of years, the way that Canadians are talking to their companies, to their vendors, has fundamentally changed. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go back one webinar where we talk about the customer lifetime value and how I was suckered into buying a whole bunch of lawn care services over text message. Next item is your customer relationship management tools and or plan, also known as CRM. We can take a look at your current CRM plan and what you're doing and make recommendations there. Now, as I go through all these things, you may think, are you just making a plan to sell us other services? Absolutely not. We have to, as a CDAP provider, be an unbiased third-party consultant to say, here are 5 different CRMs that we think that you should look at. These are things that we recommend you take a look at. We are not selling these things. We are not trying to endorse these things. We're simply trying to help you on your digital journey. Last item is we can also take a look at your digital approach to customer acquisition. And so it's taking all these things from your strategy to your web to presence to CRM and try to come up with ideas of growing your business and advancing your business. Now, there are other areas of CDAP that are out there that we don't cover as an agency because we want to stick within our wheelhouse of what we're really good at. And other vendors can cover stuff like cybersecurity. Okay, so we are not cybersecurity experts. We don't cover these parts of the plan. If you get a lot of information from this webinar and you say, but I just want to focus on our IT infrastructure, awesome. I'm going to show you how you can find a vendor that's going to do that. Unfortunately, that's not Candybox. Number 2, inventory management or like ERP systems and workflow automation. Again, not something we're experts in as a digital agency. So if you're interested in these 2 things, that's still part of CDAP completely, but it would be offered by a different vendor, and I can show you still how to find those people. Now, I want to talk about eligible costs versus ineligible costs. Okay, so the $15,000 grant is eligible for the Canadian Digital Adoption Plan. So we will build the plan, the fees associated to building the plan, the taxes associated with building the plan, that's what it's for. It is not related to any activities that aren't part of the plan. So if there's a plan and then you're thinking, okay, here's what our plan is, and then we're gonna spend money online with like meta advertising, the government is not paying for that. Okay, so the government is not paying for cost of marketing services. They're not paying for cost of advertising or purchasing equipment or software. Government does not cover that. This is singularly focused on the plan. To be eligible, there are 5 main items that government has listed on the website. Number 1, you've got to be a sole proprietor or a business incorporated under the laws of Canada. Okay, so it has to be 100% Canadian owned. Sorry, Americans, you're gonna have to find your own CDAP plan. Number 2, you have to be for profit. So unfortunately, this program is not open for charities and non-for-profits at this moment, which is sad, but that's what it is. Number 3, it has to be privately owned. Okay, so no publicly traded companies. And number 4, full-time equivalent employees. So you have to actually have full-time employees, not just contractors, in between 1 to 499 employees. And then the last requirement, which is difficult because sometimes this doesn't cover things like startups. You have to, in the last 3 years, at least one of those years, you had revenues of $500,000 or more, up to $100 million. Okay, if you're doing more than $100 million, congratulations. Okay, I don't think you need the $15,000. You're doing quite well. But if you're $500,000 or more, then you can qualify for the program. So those are the eligible criteria. If you fall out of this, this program, I believe, is on for another 3 years. So, just try to get there, right? And we'll work together. All right, so once we take a look at this, you say, yes, I want to go on CDAP. How does it actually work? Well, let me show you. So our process is fourfold. So the first thing is we do a needs assessment of your organization. We take a look at your operational goals, your objectives, things that you're looking to accomplish over the next few years. And then we take a look at the needs within the organization and identify things that are pain points. So I mentioned customer relationship management tools, CRM. That is like a technology where you're managing your customers and communication. And if you're just saying, we're really struggling with CRM right now, we're not sure what to do, maybe you have a license, maybe you don't, how to do it, we're going to come in and take a look and analyze what you can do. Number 2, we're going to do a technology review. So we're going to actually find out what technologies are you currently using today, from your CRM system to your call system to your web system to your social media. We're going to do a full assessment of what are you doing already. After that, we're going to come back to you with our initial recommendations. Okay, so this is a first pass at recommendations based on what we've seen, based on the interviews that we've had with you, and based on our experience as an agency. So we're going to come back to you with an initial review, and we're going to be waiting for feedback. Okay, so if we're making recommendations and saying we believe these are the 11 things that you really need to implement for the next year, and this is why, you may come back and say, Darrell, we would like these first 7, these 4, we're not doing this. Like, we've decided not to, and that's perfectly fine. Then last, we will deliver to you a final CDAP plan for approval. So this would include the final recommendations, a schedule of when we recommend these things actually be laid out, and an estimated budget of what these things could cost. Now, this is going to play out a little bit later in this presentation of how to actually execute on these things, which we're also excited about speaking about and what the government can provide us. But this is what CDAP incorporates, okay? So from beginning of planning and analysis all the way to recommendations and a final delivery, CDAP, Canadian Digital Adoption Plan, the $15,000 grant is for the plan. Okay. Now, this plan, once delivered, this is what you would use to then go back to the government and say, here's our plan to receive the funding. Okay, so for your business is responsible for both applying and then providing the actual plan so that you can receive the funding back. There's a lot more instructions to do with that, but that's essentially what this is for. Okay, so if you're interested in doing this, how to apply. So when you're applying, it needs to be the actual business owner or director of the organization. Okay, so you can't just, if you're just an employee of the organization, you cannot apply. It's going to ask you to log in with either Interact or a GC key, or have to do it manually with one of the advisors. So you have to be an authorized director or owner of the business. I'm going to give you, this is the process right from the website of what they're recommending for applications. So the first thing is you can take a look at the assessment tool on the CDAP website, and it really is just going through the requirements of, do you qualify? Once you do that, then you're directed to the Boost Your Business Technology Grant. Okay, so this is all online. If you see the link right at, there at the bottom, or I think it's on the side or this side, anyways, it's right there on the slide, okay? bit.ly/CDAP assessment. I'm gonna ask, I think Mahfouz is online here. He's gonna post that link. Don't click this on this right now, because then you're going to be completely distracted from the rest of this presentation. But don't worry, it's going to be in the chat for you afterwards, and we'll shoot you off an email with these links. And then you're going to use their DNA, their Digital Needs Assessment tool, to find out what are your needs for the plan. Okay, so this is just an online resource. Once you've done that, that is your application for CDAP. Once your application is in, it takes anywhere from, I've heard as fast as 2 business days up to 10 business days to get approved into the program. Okay, so the government does, I wouldn't just run off and just like hire a company right away and do this. You first want to just make sure that you are approved, and you'll receive an approved email. And then once you get that, you get access to the marketplace, or really like a directory of approved CDAP providers, okay, of which we are one. Now, you don't need to use the directory specifically. It'll obviously show Candy Box Marketing, but you can use this to look at the different vendors. And we encourage you, reach out to a few vendors and see who you want to work with on your digital plan. Then you need to, step number 5, this is very important. Even though you have the grant, you need to actually work out the agreement with the CDAP provider of things like scope of work, timelines, and cost and billing. As a provider, we actually bill the entire project upon delivery at the end, but some CDAP providers may charge a deposit to get going, and there's different ways of doing that. So think of this as, although we're all approved vendors, we're all independent. Okay, we're not agents of the government. We are independent businesses running businesses in different ways. Okay, so once this is done, step number 6, you would submit the plan, once it's done, back to the government, and they provide 90% of the total invoice with the taxes. Okay, 90%. I'm going to cover this a little bit more in FAQs. So the maximum that they're going to cover is $15,000. So we're charging $16,300 for the plan. So then you would get the balance, 90% of that back with the applicable HST as a reimbursement for services. So there is a little bit of money that you have to put into these plans, but got something at the end to talk about the value afterwards. Once you're done this, really cool option, okay? The BDC, once you've finished the CDAP plan, allows you to apply for a loan, an interest-free loan. And in the world of crazy inflation, interest-free loans is like a license to print money. It's really good, as long as that money is going to good use. Don't just get a loan and keep it. That's not good. Okay, but this loan is to help you actually implement the plan. So if part of the plan is, let's say, hey, you really need to make all these changes on your website, or you need to integrate the CRM system, then you can use this loan, this $100,000 loan, to do this, okay? Remember, the grant, you don't have to pay back. The loan, you do. It's a loan. It's from the BDC. And so you can qualify, so you have to apply for a loan, and you can get up to $100,000, okay? That's at this point. Once you do that, then you also have the ability to get a youth placement wage. So if you're looking to hire on a temporary resource or a long-term resource, but if it's within the youth category, you can actually receive a grant for that, and then you provide feedback on the service. Okay, so that's beginning to end. P.S. You don't need to do the $100,000 loan if you're fine and you're good to go, but it's there for you as a value add. All right. This is a whole bunch of disclaimers from the government. I'm not going to read them all, but there are things to keep in mind, including the fact that you're responsible for paying vendors like us for our work. We are not the government. We are not agents of the government. We're simply providing a service that you get reimbursed for. And then you actually need to focus these services on what the government has approved. So you can't just hire them to do something very different, like build a website, and then say, well, it's part of CDAP. That's not the case. Okay. The too long didn't read, the TLDR is you need an agreement with like a company like Candybox or an advisor for the actual project. So even if you get approved, they're not going to contact you and just give you an advisor. You need to now go to market and get a provider that works for you. Okay. If there's any questions as well too, feel free as I'm talking to throw them in the chat. At the end of this presentation, I will go through and hit every single question. And to be honest, we've left half of the webinar just for Q&As. Okay. So please feel free to throw anything in the chat there and we will get to it soon. Now, once you're approved, you're going to get access to a page that looks like this. This is the Digital Advisor Marketplace. So here you can say, okay, this is the province I'm in, this is the type of service I'm looking, and then it gives you a list, okay? We are one of those providers. We focus more on business growth and strategy, marketing, execution, sales, etc. But there are other people. So if you're looking at a huge security audit, there are great companies out there that can help you. If you're looking for references, feel free to email me. I know a number in the industry that I would highly recommend, but it is a free marketplace. A number of FAQs. We've also listed these FAQs on our landing page, and so Mahfouz will throw that in the chat as well too. There's a lot of questions that come with CDAP. So let me ask all the questions, and typically in typical FAQ question, most of the answers is going to be no. So spoiler alert as I answer these questions one at a time. Number one, can CDAP pay for my marketing? We get this question a lot. No. I'm sorry, but no. This loan is not to pay Google, to pay Meta, to pay for your web development, all that stuff. I'm sorry, that's not what it is. The payment is for the plan, not the execution of the plan. Great question. Thanks for asking. Number two, do I need to execute the plan with Candybox? Yeah, no, you don't. You can pick any vendor you want to. We would encourage you to look around, find a company that you jive with, that you think that can help you with your digital journey. And we recommend that you take a look at their past, their history, and what they've done for other clients. Just because you're approved with the loan does not mean that you just need to pick a specific advisor, including ourselves. You go out, you shop, you find somebody that can help your business. Number three, does the government pay $15,000 or 90%? The answer is 90% of the bill up to $15,000. Okay, so for example, we bill $16,300 to a business, and then the government would replace 90% of that, which is $14,670. Okay, so you've got a little bit of skin on the game in terms of the service, but I'm going to talk a little bit about that later in terms of how that little skin in the game can actually help you as a business. Number four, do all providers have the same process and services? Huge no. Massive no, okay? We are certified by the government. We are approved by the government based on a number of things. But to be honest, we're all very different. There are companies that are incredibly good at the ERP side. Other companies that are really great at security. And there are companies like us that are really great at like go-to-market strategy and digital marketing and those things. So you really want to evaluate and consider the company that you're working with. We do not all have the same process, playbook, or people, okay? So you are really going to market to find out who is the best vendor for your business. Do I need to pay back the grant? This is a no. This is a no that you like, right? All these other no's have been a little bit negative. This is a no that's great. No, you don't need to pay back the grant. It's yours. Take it. Enjoy it. All right. Do I immediately qualify for the $100,000 BDC loan? No, you need to actually apply for it separately. And it may not be $100,000. Based on your plan, they can approve $5,000, $50,000, $100,000. And then you have to pay it back over a period of time with a 0% interest rate. There's more information on that if you just search CDAP BDC loan. Can Candybox apply on my behalf? Unfortunately not. You need to have like a secured login to either your GC account, or your Interact service, or you do it manually with a person. Now that said, if you need help with it, we're allowed to accompany you in the application process. So if you want us to take a look at your screen as you're going through the questions and asking us questions about that, you need a little bit of guidance, we are more than happy to help you out. And even if you don't choose Candybox Marketing, we're very happy to help you and have that discussion with you. Why would I choose Candybox Marketing as my provider? Ever thought that you'd ask? Thank you for such a great question. Really appreciate that. Well, let me count the ways. Number one, we have a 98.5% customer happiness across the board here at Candybox. The average customer stays with us for 5 years and 9 months. The average digital agency in Canada keeps their customers for 4 months. Those stats are from Google. So we have a long history of helping companies with their digital transformation in Canada, and companies are really happy with us. Feel free to Google us, just Google Candybox Marketing, and you're gonna see, I think we're at 70 reviews. And as an agency, that's a lot. And you're gonna see a whole bunch of 5-star reviews in there and 1 or 2 1-star reviews that are just spam, because everybody has spam. Number 2, we've got 40 candy addicts. We got 40 full-time people here at Candybox Marketing. So we've got a great team of really smart people that are willing to do this. We also have gone through our own digital transformation. So not only are we advising and consulting, but we've done this before. We've grown a company in between 20 to 40%. We've grown Candybox between 20 to 40% every year for the last 10 years. Okay, and we've gone through digital adoption process through that. Last thing is zero outsourcing. Some companies are outsourcing this work to another third party, another third party, another third party, somebody overseas, somebody that may not understand your business. We absolutely pride ourselves in being 100% Canadian with full-time employees, and so you're working with a designated candy boxer that is really amazing at digital adoption. The guarantees that we have on our plans, that it's 100% in-house, that we give you digital freedom. So we're never locking your plan into something that you need our agency for. We want to always make sure that you're free to do what you want to do, and that we're always conversion focused. We're always thinking about how to grow your business, not just how to produce a really fancy report for you. Going back to this, CDAP is nothing new. Why do I bring this slide back? So CDAP, just digital adoption, has been part of our process for 15 years. So if we get a new client that comes in here and wants to talk about branding, we go through a digital analysis of their current state. If they come in to do a website, we go through an analysis. You go through social media, Google ads, Facebook ads, videos, all these things. This was not a surprise to us. We didn't have to learn how to do this. This is something that is inherent to our agency. And we actually before had to incorporate some of these tasks into our cost if somebody didn't have it. So that if they didn't have a full website assessment, we would do it, but we would bake it into the cost of doing the project. So what does that mean for you? That means if you do a CDAP project with us, that there is a potential, and I'm just going to use the word potential, that some of our other services will cost less. And that's because if we're doing a branding project, part of our brand project is we do a SWOT analysis. And so and if they have a SWOT analysis, we would charge them less. So the government is really paying for a part of this plan, but this plan can help really discount other services, right? I believe, and it depends on which company and what service, but I believe the minimum discount we'd give is about $1,500 on our other services based on what you're doing. So if you're putting in $1,500, whether you're with us or somebody else, you're really going to be saving that money long term because this work doesn't need to be redone, okay? CDAP has been around for a while. Now, I've got a special offer and I've got a secret, okay? My special offer is we just do free CDAP consultations. There are businesses that are charging for this right now. We do not, okay? So if you want to discuss CDAP, you want it to help us apply for CDAP with you as we watch along and you perform it, we will do that at no cost. Very happy to do it, okay? So if you book my calendar link, so you can either you're going to get this in the chat, so you can click on that link, or if you have your phone, you want to quickly do it, you can book my calendar to go through this process. Just to let you know, on our side, we can actually only, as an agency at this point, process through 4 to 5 companies per month. We've got 7 in the pipeline right now. So if you're interested in doing this, you haven't applied yet, you haven't gone through the process, that's perfectly fine. I would still recommend that you click on this link. You have a meeting with us, discuss where you're at, and we can put you on our project board so that when you're ready to go, that we can get this approved and we can get you in our queue right away. All right, there is going to be a lineup for this. It is a big program. We've got lots of customers, and we want to make sure that we do an incredible job for every single person. So even if you're not fully ready to implement the plan, we do recommend click on that link, book a time in my calendar, and then we will give you the necessary documents and advice for you to go through the program. Once again, this is complimentary, it's free, and even if you're choosing to go with a different provider, we are very happy to help you along your digital journey. This is exciting for us. All right, I'm going to be opening up for questions in a few minutes, but I'm going to give you another little, very small secret here that we're just announcing later on today. We're launching a webinar on Threads. All right, so if you know Threads, no, that's okay. Click on the link. You're going to learn about it. Threads is Meta's new offering to really compete head-to-head with Twitter. It has been one of the biggest market disruptors in social media in the last number of years. It has gained a ton of market share in the last, 10 days of being alive. And it is a very interesting marketing tool that brands are quickly getting on. Okay, so if you're interested, feel free to go to candyboxmarketing.com/webinar. You can register for this webinar for free. We're hosting it August 1st. At 1 p.m. It's only open for 1,000 people. We always fill up, so feel free. Just because you've attended this webinar, we think that you're great. So feel free to sign up for our Threads webinar, and we'll see you on Threads. But let's go back to CDAP. I'd love at this point to open up for any questions or comments about CDAP. If I don't know the answer, we'll record your name and we'll get back to you afterwards. There is some legalese that's in here, and I don't want to say anything that's incorrectly, but I want to give a chance for you guys to ask any questions about CDAP in relation to your business. And so for this, I've got my wonderful counterpart here, Michael Muto, that is going to be manning the chat and asking me questions. So Michael, go for it.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy days to join us. So the first question is, as a CAD-centered business that is mostly digital, am I eligible and how can this help me?
As a what-centered business, sorry?
CAD-centered business. I don't know
Canadian?
Canadian, yeah.
I'm
I think it's
just
Canadian.
guessing here?
Yeah, I think so.
And sorry, the question was, can I...
That is, as a Canadian-centered business that is mostly digital,
Yes.
Mafus is saying computer-aided design company.
Got it. Okay, CAD. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. So if you go back to the eligible items, and even if you're like mostly online, that's perfectly fine. The e-commerce grant I talked about before, the $2,400 one, that was specifically for e-commerce, but you can be an e-commerce business as long as you have more than one employee, you've got the revenues to prove it, you're a privately owned company. Absolutely, yes, you do qualify as per the Government of Canada for the grant. So feel free to click the link, make it happen, and work with Candybox. And yes, I do know what CAD is. My brother-in-law, who is an engineer, would probably slap me on the back of the head for asking for clarification on that question. Mike, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Any other questions?
Yes. So another one we got is, from the time we submit our CDAP plan to the government for the grants, how long does it take them to pay for the grant?
Great question. So how long does it take them to pay for it? So I'm going to go through two things. So once you apply, it takes them about 2 to 10 business days to approve it. And then payment is separate. So what you actually have to do is then you would sign up with a vendor like Candybox. We would do the plan, and then you would have to submit your invoice and the actual digital adoption plan to the government to receive a payback. Now, that the number of days there is not sure. We've heard people, they get paid as soon as like 10, 15 business days, but I've heard that it could be 30 days. I would love to ask recent customers what they've experienced to understand what it is, but it is a Canadian government, and so it's not something kind of like that they guarantee. They just said it will be reimbursed. Now, what we do as an agency is a lot of agencies I've contacted about the plan, they charge half up front and half due upon completion, and then they'll only pay after they get the plan. What we do is we do 100% upon completion, so that there is, you're not having money out of pocket as you're going through the digital adoption plan.
All right. So another question we got is, how long does it take for Candybox to create a plan for a business?
Great question. It's based on the number one factor is participation from our customer side, but typically we're estimating about 4 to 5 weeks. So it's not long. We go through the 4-step process within 4 to 5 weeks.
Okay. And then another one was, are you able to provide an example of what is included in this plan? Like, I guess what we're able to provide for businesses.
Absolutely. So part of the plan at the beginning, you're going to take a look at something like a business analysis. So we go through like strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We're taking a look at macroeconomic factors that are impacting your business, different technologies that even your competitors may or may not be using to acquire new customers and to grow their business. And then we go through the technologies that you're currently using and saying, okay, let's say you're using, as an example, like a HubSpot for a CRM, and you've got a sales team and they're using different systems. We're going to start listing out all the things you're doing and then providing recommendations based on our experience. So let's say if you're using a CRM system, not saying any one in particular, that isn't really working for your team, that hasn't been effective, we can either make recommendations of, hey, this is something you can do to improve that current technology, or here are 3 different technology providers that we would recommend. Another part that our customers love is our website analysis. So what we do here is we actually go through your entire website and then we make recommendations and suggestions for client onboarding, business process improvement. So let's just say if you've got like an intake form for clients and it's not mobile compatible, we would point that out. Or, it's not asking the right questions, it's not connected to the right forms, it doesn't have dynamic fields. Like, we're going to take a look at the entire customer journey on the digital side and help you build out that part of your plan. Now, every customer is different. So when we do a needs assessment, we're trying to figure out which area we're going to focus more on. So we don't have to focus on CRM if CRM isn't a big focus of your business. And so that's our first step, to figure out what part of your digital transformation would be the most advantageous for us to spend time on.
All right. So another one we got is, how long is this opportunity open for, and does the grant expire?
Wow, good question. That one I can't, I'm not entirely sure. So what I've heard so far is that it's looking like there's 3 more years part of the program. And I don't know about any expiration of the actual grant. So that one I'll have to look into and get back to you on. Great question.
All right. So another one we got, thank you for all the questions, by the way. We're getting so many. Is Leanne is asking, just to clarify the payment terms, does your client pay you after they receive the grant? Is there a scenario where the plan gets disapproved by the government, and then what happens after that?
Oh, wow. Great question. So in terms of a payment, we've got payment terms where there's a certain number of days for us to collect. We obviously can't control when the government pays out. That said, we want to be an understanding agency for we don't want people to be out of pocket, but yet we can't control the government or see what's happening with their actual funding. So there is a maximum number of days of us receiving the payment. That has not been a problem for customers to date whatsoever. If the government disapproves the plan, we would work with you on it. We would adjust the plan to make sure that this plan is approved. We're in it for your business success, so at no point do we want the government rejecting any plans that you have for your digital adoption. And we know the things that we should include that will help. We know the things that they're not looking for. And so that is our guarantee. We guarantee that we're going to give you a plan that the government is asking for. If there's any changes, we'll make adjustments.
Okay, and then Michael has another question where he's asking if we have any sample plans or applications that they can use for guidance.
So we don't have any sample plans. Our sample plans are actually proprietary and private for the organizations that we are working with, and they're very unique. In terms of applications, the application process is extremely simple. It's really just check boxes and filling out information. So if you search CDAP Canada and go through their needs assessment tool, once you log in, it takes you all of 5 minutes to fill out their items. It's not long, drawn out forms. You're really selecting the areas that you need help with, and then you click submit.
All right, so Mike is asking, he's saying, I understand that startups are not eligible under 500K revenue, but are you aware of any programs like this geared towards startups by chance?
Unfortunately not. No, this is the primary plan that's out right now. I know that the e-commerce grant doesn't have the $500,000 baseline for e-commerce businesses. I'm not sure what their baseline is. I think it's I believe it's a lot lower than this. But yeah, there's no other plans that are out there right now that I know of. Now, that said, when we as an agency took a look at this plan originally, there are government grants and small things within certain provinces or certain groups of people that we haven't participated in the past because we didn't find that it was easy enough for people to use or that it was worth our customers' times applying for. This is the first grant program that we've actually become an approved provider for in 15 years because we believe in the viability and ease of use of the plans.
All right. And now Linda is asking, how much time do we need to set aside to work on this type of project?
Great question. My recommendation over a 5-week period is about 1 to 2 hours per week. So total 8 hours. Now, some could be a little bit more if we're needing more integration discussions and discovery. There's some clients that are a lot faster than that. And so I would say 8 hours total over a period of 5 weeks is a safe bet.
All right. And then another question is, how does Candybox marketing identify areas in a business that need digital solutions?
So part of our process and needs assessment is we come in and we're just actually asking a lot of questions. So we have a preset of questions to deal with your business objectives, your goals, your growth trajectories, your digital technology. And because we have experience with, I think we've worked with over the last 15 years, my estimate is probably over 2,000 businesses. We've got a lot of good experience in helping customers in different industries, from e-commerce, a lot of B2B, and different types of organizations of all sizes to help with their digital adoption. So that's one. We do have the experience and the know-how of asking the questions. Secondly, within our processes that we've been doing over the last 15 years, we have, as a marketing agency, we are industry agnostic. We work across tons of different industries, and so when we approach something, we're not, we haven't really been pigeonholed into one industry, and so the experts that we have on team have a variety of customers that they work with in different industries, and so we have great experience there. Now, we understand that not every single person is the best advisor for every single customer. That's why we've got a bigger team. We have more than one advisor that can help per account. And if any time we're finding we need to pull in different resources to help provide advice in your industry, we have that. Collectively, with 40 digital marketing and operational specialists across the board, the experience within Candybox marketing is unbelievable. It's an amazing organization. I know I obviously work at Candybox Marketing, but there's some organizations that may have one or two contractors that are fulfilling these. We have a lot of bench strength here at Candybox to help people of all different types of industries.
All right. I just want to thank everyone again for joining us on your lunch. And actually, Darrell, those are all of the questions that we have been asked. Yeah. You
guys are easy on me today. Oh, that's awesome. So, really do appreciate everybody's time today. If you've got more questions, feel free to ask. You can either shoot me an email, Darrell@candyboxmarketing.com. You can spell Darrell any way you want to. It all goes to me. I've set that up. I think there's like 15 ways to spell Darrell. Yeah, it's weird. But anyways, and then on the other side, if you just want to have a discussion, feel free to scan the code, click on the link, and we're looking forward to working with you. On behalf of everybody at Candybox Marketing, we wish you guys all the best of your digital transformation success in different ways with different vendors. And we hope you join us on our next webinar where we talk about threads, what you need to know, and how to use it to grow your business. Thanks so much.